We also are working very closely with the county on a county-city cooperative effort on mass transit, public transportation here in the city of Stevens Point, something we've talked about here before on the program, where right now, when I took office, we had a really good city transit system in my first term, but we decided we wanted to expand it. So when the first, second, and third terms, we worked to expand transit to the village of Plover. We worked to expand public transportation to areas in the village of Whiting and Park Ridge. And now we're taking it to yet the next level, where we're going to work very closely with the county on creating a county-wide public transportation program to service areas outside of the Stevens Point, Plover metropolitan area. So watch for that. But I'm very pleased that initiative has new life, and I'm pleased we've been able to get that thing going again here in the city of Stevens Point to take basically public transportation to a whole new level here in the Stevens Point, Plover, Portage County area. The Stanley Street overpass has been well reported on, but that has been in front of the Board of Public Works a couple of times. A lot of work has been done on that, which will be taking place in the year 2016-2017. I did mention the comprehensive planning, which will continue for the next year or so here in the city of Stevens Point. I'm pleased that we were able to work with the people who are working with the Fox Theater and others in downtown Stevens Point in January, February this year, an allocation of funding for the Entrepreneur Center in the downtown area. I'm pleased that we were able to take care of that. Of course, there are so many things when you start talking about accomplishments that working with the alderpersons and city staff that you realize even in a half hour you can't begin to touch on all of them, because it has been a very busy and a very productive 4 3/4 months here in the city of Stevens Point. We were able to reallocate and reactivate the Poet Laureate program, a program that had been idle for so long. That we now have a Poet Laureate again in the city of Stevens Point to work with our students, to work with those in classrooms to emphasize poetry and the importance that it plays in a community. We, of course, restarted Community Focus. John Quirk has been very helpful in working with behind the scenes, not only taking these longer episodes of Community Focus, but breaking them down into short little segments to place on YouTube for you. We realize that sometimes it's a lot easier to watch a 1 or a 2 or a 3-minute section of Community Focus, but finding more ways to communicate with you, the people of Stevens Point. And of course, look for the John Quirk radio station, I'm calling it that from now on, to appear, I'm thinking sometime this summer here in the city of Stevens Point. We have worked very closely with our partners at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point in the last 4.5 months, helping to shepherd through their major $70 million plus new science building, 172,000 square foot building. It appeared twice before the City Planning Commission, a lot of work shepherding that through the city committees and Common Council to get approval for the university to build their new science center here in the city of Stevens Point. And I think by now all of you are well aware of the fact I was very proud of the alderpersons taking a very firm position in a resolution to state lawmakers going on record strongly opposed to major funding cuts at not only the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, but throughout the university system. I was pleased that the Common Council realized that the university is an important part of our community, an important part of the economic engine of central Wisconsin, and that these devastating cuts that we have reported to the people of Stevens Point on many times was something that they found to be unacceptable. And I was very happy the Common Council passed a resolution earlier this year basically condemning those cuts and asking that the money be restored.